Let me explain which QE I think the US will pick. There's type 1 QE, which is what the Fed did in 2008. It's considered non-inflationary. It did not trigger a spike in asset prices. The rich did not get richer. Well, technically, yes, the bankers that got bailed out got richer, but the market assets did not inflate. Why? Because remember, the financial system was collapsing, right? Banks were sitting on mountains of toxic, worthless mortgage assets. The Fed stepped in and bought those bad assets directly from the banks. That cleaned up their balance sheets. Right? At face value, there was no new money that entered the broader economy. The central Papa Bank was like, hey, it's okay, guys, we'll forgive you for all those bad loans you gave out. Don't even worry about it. It's essentially a cleanup, and it happens completely within the banking system without the money flowing into the real world. That's also why 2008's QE didn't cause significant consumer price inflation. Type 2 QE is what happened in 2020. And this one is completely different. Instead of buying assets directly from the banks and then just forgiving them, the Fed bought assets from non-banks and corporations and pension funds and regular institutions. And when that happens, those sellers deposit the money into their bank accounts. So banks are now forced to create new deposits. New money floods into the broader economy and people have more buying power. But the supply of stuff in the world didn't change. Prices went up. Not right away, there was a lag of about 12 to 18 months. The Fed did huge type 2 QE money printing in March 2020, and then 18 months later, inflation hit 9%. The original economists who created this term QE actually warned this inflation would happen, but nobody listened. Instead, the media told us this. Here's why economists don't expect trillions of dollars in economic stimulus to create inflation. They were all wrong. In 2020, BlackRock presented this exact type 2 QE at something called the Jackson Hole Conference. They essentially told the Fed what the plan was, and then 6 months later, BlackRock went ahead and did it. Now, how all of this is related to what I'm talking about is that option number 2 is the option that the US will have to pick, printing money into the oil spike. The inflation that might happen after that could be a lot higher than 9%, 12 to 18 months after that QE. That would make this graph much, much worse, right? This is where economic growth slows down and inflation goes up. That is called stagflation, and it's very, very bad.